back here on time, 6 hours and 26 minutes en route. Enjoy the flight.
The route between the New York City area and London is one of the most lucrative air routes in the world, especially when it comes to premium travel. But since this really isn't a long flight, I'll usually just book a seat in economy when I need to hop across the pond. But a few weeks ago, I came across a deal that I just couldn't pass up to fly on United's Polaris business class from Newark to Heathrow using miles. So I snatched it up and headed to Newark's Terminal C. United has come a long way in the last few years, and I've been a big fan of their new economy cabins, so I've been looking for an opportunity to try out the Polaris experience for a while now. As a Polaris passenger, I was able to use the premium check-in area, where I still needed to use a kiosk to check my bag, but the lines were short and help was readily available if needed. After I cleared security, I headed right to the Polaris Lounge. This lounge has a great reputation, and for years now I've looked inside longingly when traveling through Terminal C, but today is finally the day that I get to see if it lives up to the hype. Only business and first class passengers traveling to select international destinations with United or their Star Alliance partners are granted access, so it's intended to be a bit more exclusive. However, there was a line this afternoon and I ended up having to wait about 10 minutes before I got inside. At roughly 27,000 square feet, this lounge is big, but it was definitely crowded. It's full of amenities though, like a buffet, restaurant, showers, and quiet rooms. There's a nice bar by the entrance where you can grab a complimentary cocktail if you'd like, or if you're hungry you can get something to eat from the buffet or the full-service restaurant. But if you want to relax, there's loads of seats, including these work pods, and rows of armchairs. I had my heart set on trying out the restaurant, so I put my name down on the list and managed to find an open pod to wait for a table to free up. I enjoyed hanging out in my pod, and I spent the next half hour watching planes taxi by. The chair is comfortable, and the table is big enough for your laptop. There's also an outlet and a reading lamp. Eventually my reservation was ready and I was shown to my table in the restaurant. The menu wasn't huge, but there was definitely something for everyone. For my appetizer, I went with the cheese plate, and then I ordered the signature burger for my main. I really enjoyed both of these dishes, but my favorite was the chocolate chip cookie skillet I ordered for dessert. Overall, I was really impressed with the restaurant, especially with the staff who were very friendly and worked hard. Unfortunately, many of my fellow passengers were not too happy about having to wait for a table, and I witnessed plenty of people trying to sneak in and just being rude to the staff. But the staff handled it well, and were always courteous and professional. You don't have to pay for anything in the restaurant, but I'd recommend leaving a tip for your waiter. After dinner, I explored a bit more. The bathrooms are really nice. There's 18 individual restrooms in 2 separate corridors. You'll need to wait in line to use one, but having a private restroom like this is definitely a nice touch. There's also a few private phone rooms if you need a quiet place to make a call or get some work done. After getting a coffee, I managed to snag this seat and enjoyed some great views of the apron. In all, although the lounge was crowded, it lived up to my expectations, and I was sad to leave. I made my way to gate C75, only to realize once I got there that the gate had been switched and I needed to go to gate C128 on the other side of the terminal. I didn't really mind though, because I always enjoy exploring airports and doing a little plane spotting. After a nice stroll, I made it to my gate with a few minutes to spare and caught a glimpse of the 767-300 that would be taking me to London. This particular plane is almost 21 years old and began its career with Hawaiian Airlines before United acquired it in 2018. Boarding started on time, and since I was in business class, I was in the first boarding group. United refurbished this aircraft to have a premium heavy layout. In total, there's 46 business class seats in a 1-1-1 configuration. The odd number seats face straight forward and offer the most amount of privacy, while the even number seats where I'll be sitting are slanted towards the aisle. Specifically, I'll be sitting in 8L. I wanted a window seat, but by the time I booked, all of the odd number seats were taken, so I settled for this one, even though the window was obscured. However, every review I've seen online has been from someone sitting in one of the more private odd-number seats, so this trip report will offer up a new perspective from one of the less desirable, even-numbered Polaris suites. When I arrived, a whole host of items were waiting for me. There was some bedding from Saks Fifth Avenue, along with another blanket and a cooling pillow. They also gave us an amenity kit, but we'll take a more detailed look at that later. We were also given a sanitizing wipe along with a menu. I had a good first impression of this cabin. Having direct aisle access is great, and the blue and gray colors went well with the faux marble countertops. There's a storage area underneath the IFE screen that has a USB port conveniently located next to it. A storage cupboard can be found off to the side, which houses a pair of headphones, a bottle of water, and there's also a mirror if you move the headphones. Right above the table you can find a universal outlet and a remote for the IFE system. The table is easy to pull out. It's sturdy, a good size, and there's even a tablet holder. And you have a reading light, a coat hook, and a mood light. There's definitely more to the seat, but I'll go over that later. Shortly after I sat down, a flight attendant came around with some welcome drinks. I went with water instead of champagne because it was really warm in the cabin. From what I've seen online, United 767s typically have overhead air nozzles, but for some reason this one didn't. We were supposed to leave at 7 o'clock, but shortly before departure, United sent a text saying that we were delayed until 7:20. Then a few minutes later, they shortened the delay to 7:10 and then finally extended it to 7:30. I'm not exactly sure what the issue was, but I did see a lady running frantically up and down the cabin a few times saying that she wasn't leaving without her family. Eventually though, we ended up pushing back only about 15 minutes late.
Along with the Newark and today's cabin crew, it will be our pleasure to serve you this evening. Our flight time to London will be 6 hours and 26 minutes. Shortly we will be showing you a video highlighting the safety features of this Boeing 767. So we do ask at this time for your undivided attention.
Once we reached cruising altitude, I adjusted the seat and got a bit more comfortable. The controls were down to my right, and I found them to be easy to use. The literature compartment was located in the left armrest, which could be lowered so there was more room when the seat was in bed mode. The crew came around and gave everyone a hot towel, which I really needed because I was pretty sweaty from the cabin being so warm. The crew then handed out some warm nuts and a drink of our choice. While I waited for dinner, I tried out the headphones that were provided, and I wasn't a fan. I would definitely recommend bringing your own. I was served dinner about an hour after takeoff. It was brought out on a tray with metal cutlery and these awesome little salt and pepper shakers that reminded me of mini Death Stars. For my main, I ordered the grilled chicken breast, which was served alongside some bang bang chicken, a spicy sobo buckwheat noodle salad, and some bread. Out of everything, the bang bang chicken wasn't too bad, but the grilled chicken breast was rubbery and tasteless, and the noodle salad was one of the worst things I've ever had. I understand that the noodles were meant to be served cold, but they were practically frozen together. If you're flying Polaris, then I'd recommend eating dinner in the lounge before your flight. The saving grace, though, was the ice cream sundae that I ordered for dessert. Once dinner was cleared away, I decided to settle in and take a look at the amenity kit. United partnered with the luggage and travel accessories retailer Away on this, and there's an impressive variety of items inside. To help make your flight more comfortable, the kit is stocked with a dental kit, pen, tissues, eye mask, earplugs, socks, and a range of skincare products from Sunday Riley. Note that slippers are available upon request from the crew. There's 3 lavatories in the business class cabin, 2 up here at the front, and 1 in the back. They were also kept clean throughout the entire flight. In terms of amenities, there was a bottle of fabric refresher and some face mist. Once I got back to my seat, I had a look at the IFE system. Each seat has a large HD touchscreen monitor, which gives you access to a huge amount of movies and TV shows. There's also a relax mode, which plays some soothing videos. The aircraft also had Wi-Fi, with plans starting at $12.99 if you wanted to surf the web. In the end, I found a movie to watch and spent the next hour or so relaxing. Once I finished my movie, I put my seat into bed mode and tried to get some sleep. I found the bedding that United provided to be comfortable, and if you ask the crew you can get a mattress pad, but the footwell was very constricting. I felt this was one of the largest drawbacks of this seat. From other reviews I've seen online, it looks like the odd number seats have a much wider footwell, but the footwells on these even number seats are very narrow, which poses a problem when the seat is fully flat. I'm 5'11", which I think is a pretty average height, and if I had issues I can't imagine someone taller trying to get comfortable when this seat is extended. After resting for a while, I was served breakfast as we passed over Ireland. I ordered the baked egg with chicken chorizo sausage, which came with some yogurt, fruit, and a croissant. The breakfast was just alright, but it was definitely a lot better than what I had for dinner. So was it worth it to book business class on this under 7-hour flight to London? Well, to start, I was able to book this trip for 62,600 miles plus an additional $5.60, which is a great deal considering that economy seats the following week were going for over 70,000 miles. If I was able to secure a deal like that again, I'd probably snatch it up. But I don't think it's worth spending thousands of dollars to fly Polaris from Newark to London. Don't get me wrong, it's always a privilege to fly business class, but I've always found United's economy class to be comfortable. So to me, it's just not worth spending a ton of money, especially on a relatively short flight like this. But if I did fly Polaris again, I'd definitely try to get one of the odd-numbered seats. Aside from the narrow footwells that I talked about before, this aisle-facing even-numbered seat felt a little exposed, and I definitely would have appreciated more privacy. I also hope that United ups their game when it comes to catering. Poor quality meals in Polaris seems to be a common theme in many of the reviews you see online, and hopefully United takes note.
We'd like to be the first to welcome you to London's Heathrow International Airport. The local time here is 14 minutes after 7 in the morning.
It was great to be able to check off United's Polaris business class from my bucket list. The crew worked hard, and I think it really is a competitive product overall. One perk that most business class passengers didn't seem to take advantage of though was the arrivals lounge, which is complimentary. It's located right outside of Immigration and Customs, and I popped in and took a shower before heading off to Gatwick for another flight. The lounge itself wasn't extravagant or anything, but being able to take a shower and grab some more food felt amazing after this flight. And that'll do it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.